to become a millionaire, okay? And the first thing I did was I signed up for finishing school because I thought I have broke mindset because I grew up broke. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with any kind of wealth, but I want to be wealthy. So I need to study how wealthy people live, okay? So this must be like maybe 2018 or so. I signed up for a bunch of finishing schools, okay? So finishing school, back in the day, if you come from a wealthy, aristocratic family, your job, if you have a daughter, she has to marry well. Because they can't work, they can't vote, they can't own a business. The whole survival for your daughter is to marry well, right? There's that show on Netflix, it's called Bridgerton, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that is what life was like back in the day. Like that was your job, right? So if you had daughters, you would send them to finishing school where they would teach them how to be a lady, how to sit, how to talk, how to interact, how to greet, how to serve tea to your future mother-in-law. Because if your daughter was raised well, played the piano, speak 2 languages, she could be a lady of society. She's more likely to marry up. Okay? Boys are sent to boarding school. This is where they learn how to be a man. Okay? They learn about conquest and they learn fencing and they learn, the qualities that they need to learn to be a man in high society, right? So I signed up for a bunch of classes because I said I'm going to reinvent myself, but I'm going to reinvent myself as if I were rich. I want to do what rich people do, okay? So I took a bunch of these, okay? Now, why do you get in victim mode? Because some of you might relate, especially mothers, okay? Some of you might be like, I've never had kids, but you're scaring me, okay? How do you get in victim mode, okay? When you're not growing, you're dying, and you're going to be in victim mode. When you're not reading books, you will be in victim mode, right? Voltaire, very famous philosopher, says the unfed mind devours itself, especially for women. If late night you find yourself lying in bed making up fake scenarios in your head. First of all, we're crazy because we do that, right? We make up fake scenarios and then we act it out. I was gonna say this, we make up a whole movie in our heads, right? Like that's crazy. We only do that when you're not reading. Because when you're reading books, your mind is so full that you're thinking about ideas, you're thinking about concepts, you're making plans. Does that make sense? But if you find yourself like, I'm making up all these fake scenarios that have never happened, nor will they probably ever happen, by the way, it's because you're not reading. You're not reinventing yourself. So if you are in victim mode, it's because it's been a long time since you've not reinvented yourself. And I think for most of society, that's where we're at. 4, bad associations. In every culture, they say, birds of a feather flock together. Dime con quién andas y te diré. I mean, they say this in every language, in every culture. And it's because there is so much truth. You become who you are around 100%. So there are people that say, I want my husband to be better. Who are the men that influence him? Because whatever he's hanging around with, that's what he's going to be. If they're gamblers, he's going to be a gambler. If they're all cheaters, he's going to be, it's inevitable. Does that make sense? You sit at the barber shop too long, you're going to get a haircut. Okay? So it's funny because I went to a new city, right? And I was meeting this girl. She was going to do like social media videos and stuff. And she's a really pretty black girl. Really, really pretty girl. And she's like, I'm going to start working for my cousin. She's a feeder. I'm like, what the heck is a feeder? A feeder is somebody on social media that people pay them to eat. So like, it's weird. People are freaking weird, right? Like, you'll pay the website and be like, eat a burger, eat this, and people just watch her eat. Weird, but it exists, okay? I always say if the 600-pound ladies all have a man, like, I don't know, like, okay? So, anyways, so this lady, her cousin, she's like, not like a little, it's like 400 or 500 pounds, okay? This girl starts working with her cousin. I saw her like 6-7 months later. She had gained 50 pounds. 50 pounds by just hanging out with her cousin. Okay? You want to look hotter? Get hot friends. It rubs off on you. You want to make more money? Find new friends that are making more money because it's going to rub off on you. You want to be happily married? Be around people that are happily married because it all rubs off on you. So if all your friends are like broke, they always have drama in their personal life, or they're always broke, or like they're the kind of people that I call them crap magnets. Everything in their life is always going wrong. You know what I mean? Like those people, like, but I was on my way here, Marlene, but then I got a ticket, and then I got a flat tire, and then a UFO came, and then I got, you know what I mean? Like that kind of like, don't keep them in your life porque se pega. Like that definitely is contagious. I stay away from people like that, okay? Broke, negative, chismosos. People that gossip to you are going to gossip about you, and that is facts, okay? If anybody starts a sentence with, did you hear? Walk away. If they have all this time to gossip, they are broke, okay? Ugly energy, that means cara de fuchi. People ask me, like, in my business, who do I talk to? I like happy people that have high self-esteem. That's the only people I work with. Like, if I don't think you're happy, I won't talk to you. Because I don't want your unhappiness to rub off on me. Does that make sense? Or anybody that I am working with, because it's contagious, okay? And I look for people that have high self-esteem. Can you tell somebody has high self-esteem by just looking at them? Can you tell? Yes, especially for women. How do you know somebody has high self-esteem? Or how do you know somebody is like in a rut? How do you know? Is their hair typically up or down? Makeup or no makeup? Heels or flats? Fitted close to their body type, or is it loose? Fodonga, right? Like you can tell. You can see a lady, and just by looking at her, you're like, oh, she's depressed. Like you know. Did you know that body language is 7% verbal, like what you say? 7% is what you say. The other 93% is your body language, your posture, your energy, the way you walk in the room introduces you before you even say a word. Okay? And why is this so important? Because for those of you that are ladies, that are single ladies, when you meet a man, trust me, they know immediately what category to put you in. They know side chick, potential wife, right? Or the baby mama, but that's typically they have multiple and they're broke, okay? But they know where to put you because the way you treat yourself is the way other people treat you. Does that make sense? So I have boys, and every time we pose or we take a picture, they like do this, right? And I say, what do you look like? Confident or not? Not. How does Superman stand? It's the power pose, right? It's the power pose. You can tell somebody's confident because their body language is more open. When they walk, it's more open, right? And versus when you're not, you're like this, you're looking down, your eye contact, right? For the single ladies, how many times do you need to look at a guy, make eye contact and glance before he even thinks you might be interested? How many times? How many times? Twice? Twice? Once. The answer is 13. 13 times. Men don't like rejection, especially in today's culture, where all you have to do is swipe right and swipe left. They are the laziest hunters we've ever had, because now everything is online. Does that make sense? They don't need to make any effort. Back in the day, if you wanted to sleep with a girl, like, you had to like go through hurdles. Does that make sense? You had to like win over the family. The dad promised a marriage, give her a ring. Like today, you just swipe right or swipe left. So for a lot of the single ladies, you're like, how come I'm not approached? Because your body language sucks. Because when you sit at a restaurant, you're on your phone, looking down, your body language is closed, no one's gonna come approach you. Because you don't look approachable. Does that make sense? So, okay, gained weight. This one is a plus. If you gained weight, you're going to be in victim mode. So this could be just because it's winter weight, or this could be because you had a baby. It doesn't matter. For women, that's it. How do you lose yourself? You lose yourself in pregnancy. Nobody tells you, how pregnancy, like you don't know how to handle pregnancy. For a lot of women, they don't know how to bounce back. They lose themselves in mommy mode. Okay? I was telling Dania that, oh my gosh, you're gonna die, Erica. That scene of the 5-year engagement with the sister that she's like, I'm never gonna have kids, I'm gonna conquer the world. And then the next scene, she has 2 kids and she's like singing Disney songs to them, right? It's like, you lose yourself in mommy mode, right? You used to dress up, go somewhere, you know, you had maybe a career, maybe you had a sense of self, and now you're just at home with kids, changing diapers. It's hard to be a stay-at-home mom. It's really hard because for a lot of women, you lose your identity. Children don't talk back to you. Does that make sense? They lose human connection and they lose a lot of their identity. I'm not saying it's a bad thing for many women, like that is the dream, but what I'm saying is that a lot of women don't have that social interaction, right? You get lost in wife identity. Stop thinking about your husband, okay? Either he's chasing you or you're chasing him. And if you're worried about what he's doing, what he's watching, where he's going, this and that, blah, 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 he knows you're chasing him. Instead, reinvent yourself, pour into yourself, let him see so much growth in yourself that now he's going to be wondering what you're doing, where you're going. Does that make sense? You have to make yourself interesting to chase. So stop thinking about your husband because you're making him the main character of your movie and you're not the main character, okay? You lose yourself when you compare yourself to other, you know? This woman is prettier, slimmer, whatever it is. Only women do this, okay? How do I know this? Boys don't do this. So I remember we had an associate, Paulette, and her daughter must have been like 5-6 years old. And it was Easter and she had a dress. And she walks up to her dad and she says, Daddy, do you like my dress? Yes. Daddy, did you think I was the prettiest girl at church today? And in my mind, I'm thinking, she's only 5. A boy, I have 4 boys. Believe me, boys don't do that. Never, ever, ever will a boy do that. Never, okay? Boys will say, I'm your hero, I'm Spider-Man, I'm Superman. But they're not going to ask you if they were the prettiest. Like, only women do that, okay? Sometimes you lose yourself because you're comparing yourself to other people. Forget about that person. The novela's not about them. It's about you. Focus on you, okay? You lose yourself because you're taking care of a family member, okay? Maybe you had somebody go through a bankruptcy. Maybe you had a parent go through cancer. Maybe you have a parent that's going through Alzheimer's. Maybe you're going through a hardship. When you become the caregiver to somebody else, it's very easy to lose your identity, okay? And why is this so important for women? Because typically our caregivers, men or women? It's like 80% likely that it's going to be a woman, okay? When somebody is aging or somebody gets sick, it's not going to be the sons and the grandsons that take care of them. It's very rare. Now, are there some? Maybe, but it's very rare. It's typically going to be a woman. Men are interested in things. That's why they're engineers. They build cars. They build rockets. They like things. Women are interested in people. This is why we become nurses and social workers and moms, and we pick careers that are more people-oriented because it's already in our nature, okay? But if you've been taking care of somebody else for a very long time, that means you've been draining your cup. So it's very easy to lose your identity when you're in that situation. And last one, when you're broke. Maybe you went through a divorce, you filed for bankruptcy, you lost a house, you lost a business.